Come, Nerevar, come, for I shall now further educate you on today's hating trends. One cannot hate these Enwas properly if you remain ignorant about them to do so, and believe me, they have changed drastically over the eras. It's almost amazing how they can so easily evolve and enhance others' hatred towards them in just a few hundred years. In this sermon, I'll teach you about Argonians. It may not look like it, but I am actually an authority in the topic. So let me enrich your brain, Nerevar. 1. Lack of ambition. Deep within the recesses of their swamp-laden territories, the Argonians exemplify a stark absence of ambition that permeates their very core. Unlike the more civilized races striving for intellectual, societal, and cultural ascendancy, these scaly denizens seem tethered to an existence bereft of visionary aspirations. Their longing for greatness remains but a flickering ember in the face of stagnation, failing to kindle the fires necessary to etch a mark upon the annals of history beyond their permanent sidekick status to everyone else. Their absence of ambition manifests as a lamentable surrender to a mundane and pathetic existence, devoid of meaningful goals. 2. Primitive nature. Picture a society deeply entrenched in the past, clutching fervently to archaic customs and rituals as if ensnared within the bindings of tradition. The Argonians, encapsulated within the time-warped realm of their swampy domains, exhibit a reluctance to relinquish their primitive ways to give way to actual civilization. Their societal framework remains shackled by the chains of primordial origins, halting any sort of advance or evolution in any aspect of their lives. Buildings made with stone blocks and sticks, a bare semblance of individuality in their daily lives, and a sad level of development brought only by their mimicry upon the other races and whatever they may steal during their raids. 3. Unsavory aesthetics. Contemplate their physical aspect, an uneven mosaic of scales, a tail with no function and unremarkable beady eyes, lacking the elegance and sophistication of any Mur or even the most basic features of men. Their outward appearance stands as a testament to the absence of refined aesthetic sensibilities, devoid of any feature that may indicate a sliver of reason and civil behavior, which is further accentuated by their archaic practices, their not very fashionable feathery and leathery garment and accessories. They are but a sorry imitation of the more superior races, made with the lowliest creatures as base, while not even caring about the details that make them unique. 4. Limited intelligence. Unfortunately, the cognitive faculties of the Argonians resemble a flickering candle amidst a starry sky of intellect. Their mental acuity, if any, struggles to grasp the intricacies and profundities shaping our world and society. Incapable of engaging in conversations or contributing meaningfully to the pursuit of knowledge, they remain ensnared within their swamps of intellectual obscurity, unable to transcend the confines of mediocrity. A cultural mindset that inherently wards them off any sort of intelligent reasoning only aids their ignorance. Not even their own language and customs are developed enough for them to use whatever they may call their brains, let alone learning new things that are not related to stealing and violence. 5. Primitive magic. Come, Nerevar, and be witness to their feeble attempts to put their reptilian hands into the arcane realm of magic. The Argonians navigate the labyrinthine corridors of mystical knowledge, blind and stumbling upon everything their tiny minds struggle to comprehend. Their rudimentary grasp of mysticism, a mere semblance of true arcane mastery, pales in comparison to the understanding exhibited by the civilizations that created and refined the arts of magic. All they are limited to are powers that imitate magic by making sacrifices to dangerous and lowly Daedra, by praying to the primordial forces of the universe as if they even had any right or capabilities to do so to begin with. They are but insects trying to grasp at the powers of gods. It is both their lack of finesse at wielding magicka and their mental incapability to properly learn it that makes them lesser to any other species out there. Even creatures such as harpies and slodes have their own expertise over certain aspects of magic. That should be enough proof to their inferiority. 6. Savage society. Envision a society devolving around a feral sense of tribalism and primal impulses, devoid of the refinement, structure, and cultural development distinctive of a proper and real civilization. These farm tools revel in a brutish existence, forsaking the elegance and sophistication of a more advanced culture. Their societal construct, a cacophony of untamed impulses, stands in contrast against the evolutionary hallmarks of cultural refinement and complexity. Even their mediocre hierarchy can only be compared to that of a pack of animals, even if it is all an imaginary construct to entertain themselves as they follow the orders of the Hist trees whenever they feel like compelling them to their desires. 7. Subservience to the Hist. The Argonians are, in all essence and form, creatures bound to the Hist. These alien trees created the Argonians by modeling local reptile species into the shape of men and mer for the purpose of having a subservient species present to tend them. Bound unyieldingly to these ridiculous sacred tree entities, they willingly relinquish their will and identity, ensnared in a cycle of servitude that reduces them to mere marionettes, dancing to the whims of their wooden overlords. I'd say this is a bad thing due to their genetically implanted servitude to those damn trees, but while they are far from them, or their sap, this actually conditions them into becoming ideal farm tools. They just change ownership. 8. Stagnant culture. Millennia have passed, yet the cultural legacy of the Argonians remains hidden behind piles of ignorance and primitive practices. Obstinate in their adherence to archaic customs, they exhibit great aversion to evolution and growth. A culture that stagnates in the ebb and flow of time, reluctant to embrace the winds of change, faces an inevitable descent into irrelevance amidst the relentless march of progress. The refusal to adapt or evolve underscores their cultural stagnation. Not like they have anything proper to begin with, that is, so they might as well add something to it. Or, well, they could just stay as they are, making them easier to mold once they get to Morrowind. 9. Lack of artistic expression. Where, one might ponder, are the opulent tapestries woven by Argonian artisans, or the inspiring songs written by their bards? Their creativity is non-existent. They lack the richness and vibrancy that art, literature, and music impart to the soul. The absence of artistic expressions further accentuates the banal and monotonous cadence of their existence, reflecting their cultural impoverishment and creative limitations. Not even their language has the clarity of understanding. They mince unarticulated words and mix them up with hisses and guttural sounds, just like the animals they used to be. Or, well, they still are. What little could be called artistic remains primitive, as if it was some tribe still figuring out what they are sensing with their lobotomized-looking eyes. 10. Inconsequential Influence. Gaze upon Tamriel's history, Nerevar, and you shall find not even a scratch, let alone even a carving made by Argonians, nor anything that may be a mark of their presence in this world. They are inconsequential creatures, sore thumbs sticking out under a sheet. No one sees them, and no one cares about seeing them. It is a miracle they even have thumbs at all. Most people, and even scholars, doubt their facts about them due to their lack of essence. The absence of substantial contributions to history underscores their insignificance. At the end of the day, enwas shall be enwas, and farm tools shall be farm tools. If anything, they are at least useful as the latter, but remember to not just grab any Argonian you find. That's unhygienic and may be dangerous if manipulated incorrectly. Always get your farm tools from your local house dress store, and look for their seal of quality. That'd be all for today's sermon, Nerevar. As always, remember to honor the sixth house and the tribe unmourned by raising your thumbs, subscribing to my sermons, and inscribing your thoughts in the parchment below. I thank my patrons for making my sermons possible. Special thanks to the adoring Fan Connor Runda, and immense gratitude to this realm, Sharmats, Dane Snyder, and Tonya Davis.